Hello, a warm good evening to all. We, on behalf of the Center for Advanced Agriculture Science and Technology for Climate Smart Agriculture and Water Management, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, welcome you all in the valedictory function of online international training course Technologies in Climate Smart Agriculture held during 18 May 2020 to 22nd May 2020. We have blessed with our chief guest, the eminent scientist from India, who debate on climate change at international level, Dr. B. Venkateshwarlu sir, former Vice Chancellor of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapit Parmani, and Executive Council member of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri. It's our fortune to have our today's guest of honor, Dr. Rajaram Deshmukh sir, former Vice Chancellor and Academic Council member of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, and Dr. Ashok Dhawan sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapit Parmani. The chairman of this function, Dr. K.P. Vishwanatha sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, and also the special presence of Dr. Ashok Farande sir, Dean and Director of Instruction, Faculty of Agriculture, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, and Dr. Sharad Gadak sir, Director of Research and Director of Extension, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri. Also, we have with Dr. Sunil Gorantiwar sir, Head Rahuri, and Principal Investigator of the Center for Advanced Agriculture Science and Technology for Climate Smart Agriculture and Water Management Project, and the convener of this training program. Dr. Mukund Shinde sir, Professor of Soil and Water Conservation, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, and Co-Principal Investigator of the CAST project and co-convener of this training program. Dr. Bapu Sahib Bhakre sir, Head Department of Soil Science and Agricultural Chemistry, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, and Organizing Secretary of this training program. All heads of the department, faculty, and participants from all across welcome you all again. Now, I request to Dr. Sunil Gorantiwar sir, Principal Investigator, to brief about the project. Sir, please.
So I will start again.
Hello.
Respected Chief Guest, Dr. B. Venkateshwarlu sir, then respected Chairman of today's function, Dr. K.P. Vishwanatha, then esteemed guest of honors of today's function, Dr. R.B. Deshmukh, former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, and at the same time, Academic Council member of this university. Then respected Dr. A.S. Dhawan, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Agricultural University, our Director of Instruction, Dr. L. Far, associate deans of the different colleges, heads of the department, faculty member, scientists of this university, organizing committee team member, and more importantly, the participants from all over India and outside India as well. In fact, we welcome all of you for the valedictory function of this 23rd online training program, and this also happens to be the international training program, and this is the first international training program which we are conducting online actually, and overall. And normally the durations of our training program is 1 week to 2 weeks actually, and just for the information of our guests, honorable guest, and because participants they already know, so we normally conduct the training program of 1 to 2 weeks duration, and every day we have 2 sessions of 2 hours each. One is the before noon session and another is the afternoon session. At the end of the session, participants can ask the questions to the experts through chat box or directly actually. And then after the end of the session, the participants, they are subjected to quiz, which they have to solve online actually. So this is just not a seminar or webinar, but this is the complete training program. And participants, they are also provided with the training material, online training material. So they can take the benefit of this training literature later on as well. Then in that way, we conduct the training program and we keep the participant almost busy all over a week or 2 weeks, and participants normally cooperate with us. And in that way, we have started some new model for conducting the online training program. Participants are also required to complete the pre-training evaluation form and also the post-training evaluation form. and the participants, those who complete all the questionnaires, quizzes, and attend most of the lectures, then we provide them the online certificate as well. Okay, so this is how we conduct the online training program. We already conducted 22, and this is the 23rd, and this happened to be the international training program as well. Organizing Secretary Dr. Bhakre will tell in his speech the profile of all the participants. And just for the information of our guests, because all the honorable guests, in fact, they are always the guiding factors for us, and they know very well about our project as well. But though in short, just for the information, this particular project is the World Bank aided project under National Agricultural Higher Education Program of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, New Delhi. And we submitted the proposal, which was conceptualized under the guidance of Dr. K.P. Vishwanatha, Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university. And we got this particular project in a competitive mode in first call itself. And I think probably we are the only university having the theme of climate smart agriculture and water management, of course, which is a very important theme. And we normally used to get the guidance of our chief guest and as well our guest of honor, Dr. B. Venkateshwarlu and Dr. R. B. Deshmukh for conservation agriculture, and also for the rainfed agriculture, which is important component of this project. And we take all pleasure to seek the guidance from them in future as well. And of course, Dr. A.S. Dhawan, who is also specialized in this, and would like to seek his guidance in future. The guidance particularly is required for developing the different courses of postgraduate diploma. In fact, we have developed those, but we need to refine those courses now. Development part we have completed by conducting several workshops over a period of 1.5 years, and we just want to refine. And in that refinement procedure, we need the guidance of several expertise. And with this view as well, we organize so that we'll build the capacity of all the students, faculties outside as well. And we hope that we were successful in that. And we have the pool of 10 plus experts and their help to refine different courses of postgraduate diploma. And the second important part of this project is to develop the concept of climate smart and digital villages. And for that, we have already started the activity. And climate smart villages we are developing in association with the NABARD and BIAF. And particularly, we have taken the cluster of 7 villages in Akole Tehsil of Ahmednagar district. And also, we are trying to develop one village as the digital village, Buskewadi, which is in Junnar Tehsil of Pune district. And when this digital village was visited by the World Bank expert, they were impressed actually. And they made it a point to the higher authorities of ICR, our National Director and Director General as well. And in fact, before COVID, all in fact indicated that they would like to visit Buskewadi, what is going on there. But because of COVID activity, some activities have been slowed down, but now we'll start the digital component there in a renewed efforts actually. There are 2 more components, but our esteemed guests, they know already. And I think we have time limitation as well. So with this, I remain here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would request to Dr. Bapusaheb Bhakre, sir, Organizing Secretary, to give the background and review of the whole training program. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, all of you. And most respected the delegates and the chief guest, guest of honor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. K.P. Vishwanath sir, Dr. Farande sir, Dr. Gadak sir, and all the participants and faculties. I am over here to give the brief review of this particular training program on conservation agriculture. After successful conduct of the 3 days training in carbon sequestration, actually, it was thought over to take a 5 days training program on a very burning issue of conservation agriculture. Since there are still misunderstandings between the scientists and the farmers whether to go for it or not. At the first juncture, hello.
Bhakre sir, please go on.
At the first juncture,
I think please mute all the others except speaker. Yeah, continue, Dr. Bakri.
Bakri sir, you are unmuted. You are muted at your place, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Please go on.
At the first juncture, I called Dr. B. Venkateswarlu sir for his guidance on this topic, and he suggested names of some resource persons and also accepted to be the chief guest of this function. Accordingly, I also contacted Dr. R.B. Deshmukh sir and Dr. Dhawan sir for their guidance in this respect of conservation agriculture, and they also accepted to come over as a guest of honor. Accordingly, the resource persons from different institutes were requested. They agreed to give the lectures on the topics, and whole program was chalked out and took the permission of Honorable Vice Chancellor K.P. Vishwanathan sir to organize this international training course. This training course will be helping the students and faculties in our university and other universities also to formulate research programs on conservation agriculture and also restore carbon in the soil. So after having 2,344 applications from all over the world, we could just have only 990 participants across the world. We could select them looking to the participation, their discipline, their especially from environmental science and forestry. So we have selected MPKV faculties 126, MPKV students 91, other university faculties 297, other university students 406, foreign participants 18, farmers 26, and others. From the foreign participants, we have the participants from Nepal, 6 participants, USA 4, they are from Cornell University, Texas University, there are 2, and Manhattan University, there are 1 participant. So also from Sri Lanka, there are 2 participants. One of them is Dr. Sugiratran, who is the alumni of MPKU Rauri, and he is my student also of irrigation water management. Then 2 students from France, then 1 student from Ethiopia, Nigeria, Pakistan, and UK. So all these participants we had selected with a participation of we had about 33% of the females and 67.7% male have been taken as the participants of this particular program. And we had a daily 2 lectures were there. We had an eminent resource personnel to name with Dr. M.L. Jad, the principal scientist and cropping sequence from CEMAT. Actually, he had delivered on a very important topic of how conservation agriculture delivers. Then Dr. K. Sami Reddy, Dr. A.K. Bishwas from Bhopal, Dr. G. Pratibha from Hyderabad, Dr. Bipin Kumar, Dr. S.P. Wani sir, Dr. A.R. Sharma, Dr. M.R. Deshmukh, and Dr. Biswapati Mandal. Today, Dr. Biswapati Mandal had from so much of hurdles in West Bengal, but even then he could make it to just go for this lecture today, and he delivered a very nice lecture of 2 hours. So the output of this training will be definitely, as I told, the students and the farmers will be really, they will be going towards the conservation agriculture, and that would be an important part of the agriculture in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I request Dr. Ashok Farande, sir, Dean and Director of Instruction, Faculty of Agriculture, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith Rahuri, to welcome and introduce our today's guest. Sir, please.
तुम्हाला अनम्यूट करा.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Good evening to everyone. I extend my warm welcome to all. First of all, it is my privilege to extend warm welcome on behalf of Honorable Vice Chancellor sir and all the faculties of our university to our beloved chief guest of today's function, Dr. B. Venkateswarlu, former Vice Chancellor, VNKV Parbhani, and Executive Council member of MPKV Rahuri. I am very happy that he has accepted our invitation in spite of his busy schedule and joined with us for this online valedictory function. As a chief guest, I take this opportunity to introduce our beloved chief guest, Dr. Venkateswarlu. Dr. Venkateswarlu holds a PhD degree in soil microbiology. He is superannuated as a Vice Chancellor of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Agriculture University, Parbhani in the year 2018. He served as a CRISAT for a short span of time and over 35 years in the ICR. Starting his career at Kazri, Jodhpur, then moving on to Krida, Hyderabad, he specialized in dryland agriculture and climate change research. Dr. Venkateswarlu made a significant contribution in soil microbiology and soil fertility research in the dryland system. As a director of Krida, he conceptualized and implemented one of the largest projects in ICR, that is NICRA, involved in executing half a dozen of international collaborative projects besides World Bank funded projects like NADP and NAIP in India. He published over 250 research papers and 20 books and 100 conference presentations. He received 3 national awards from ICR and several lecture awards from the professional societies in India, including J.N. Mukherjee Memorial Lecture of Indian Society of Soil Science. Dr. Venkateswarlu is a fellow of National Academy of Agriculture Science and Andhra Pradesh Academy of Sciences. He served as a member, chairman of many, and co-chair of several review experts committee of Ministry of Agriculture, Rural Development, ICR, DBT, and Planning Commission. He has widely traveled and has extensive international exposures. Thank you, sir, for joining us as a chief guest for the valedictory function. I'm also welcome our beloved guest of honor, Dr. R.B. Deshmukh, sir, former Vice Chancellor and Academic Council member of MPKV Rahuri, and Dr. A.S. Dhawan, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of UNKV Parbhani. I take this opportunity to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. R.B. Deshmukh, sir. Dr. R.B. Deshmukh, sir, former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith Rahuri during 2005 to 2010. Former Director of Research MPKV Rahuri and former Director Agriculture Science and Technology BSI Pune. Dr. Deshmukh completed his post-graduation in cytogenetics and plant breeding in first class from the College of Agriculture Pune, which was under the Pune University at present, at that particular time. He completed his doctoral degree program from Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith Rahuri. His contribution in the field of research development was recognized by several national and international agencies. Due to his extraordinary contribution in chickpea development, the McKnight Foundation USA granted a prestigious project on development of Fusarium wilt in chickpea. He was a recipient of several national and international awards. Among of that awards, international awards, Colombo Plan Award in 1992. He is also honored by His Excellency Governor of Maharashtra for significant contribution in pulse research in 1998. He was also awarded ISPRD National Award 1998, the NICRISAT's Doreen Maschler International Award 2002, CGI-AR's King's Baldwin International Award 2002. He was also Fellow of Indian Society Pulses Research in Development in 1993 and Fellow of Indian Society Genetics and Plant Breeding in 1980. He has worked as several committees for the universities and state government as well as ICR. He worked as an advisor for Dryland Agriculture Mission of the Department of Agriculture and Government of Maharashtra, Chairman of Research Advisory Committee ICR National Research Center on Pomegranate, Chairman of Research Advisory Committee ICR Central Coastal Agriculture Research Institute, Goa. He was also holding the different positions in MPKV, starting from assistant professor and reached the highest position of Honorable Vice Chancellor for this university. He developed and improved 19 varieties of pulses and implemented 10 research projects during his tenure. He published more than 108 scientific and 62 technical publications recognized at national and international level. He guided 31 MSc students and 7 PhD students. Dr. Deshmukh, sir, has worked in collaboration with the several international and national institutes. Out of that, the Washington State University Pullman, USA, CSIRO Division Plant Industries, Canberra, Australia, International Co-op Research Institute and Semi-Arid Tropics, Petanjuru, India, then University of Queensland, Brisbane, Australia, and presently he is a member of Academic Council of MPKV Rahuri. He is a member of Seed Subcommittee and Seed Review Committee, Government of Maharashtra. Thus, he's contributed significantly in the field of education, research, and extension education, and rendered his expertise for improving the standard living of the farming community. I would like to introduce another guest of honor, Dr. Dhawan, sir. Dr. Dhawan, sir, presently working as a Vice Chancellor of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith Parbhani from 1st June 2018. He completed his PhD in agriculture from IRI New Delhi in 1984. Dr. Dhawan sir has 35 years wide experience and worked in different capacities as a professor, head of the department in the Soil Science and Agriculture department, then Associate Dean, Director of Extension Education, and Director of Instruction and Dean Faculty of Agriculture, very efficiently. Dr. Dhawan sir worked as a FAO Fellow at Oregon State University, Cornwallis, USA, and University of California, Davis. He published 70 research papers of national and international repute. He published more than 50 scientific reports, book chapters, and edited monographs. He also guided more than 30 MSc students and PhD students in the field of soil science and agriculture chemistry. Sir, thank you for joining us for this valedictory function as a guest of honors. I am very happy to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Chairman of this valedictory function, Dr. K.P. Vishwanathaji, who is the guiding force for organizing such online training program in series during lockdown period. I always be inspired from his particularly association. I welcome you, sir, at this moment. I also welcome Dr. S.R. Gadak, Director of Research and Director of Extension Education of MPQ Rauri for his special presence. I have great pleasure to welcome all our experts who are the major contributor of this successful program. I express my sincere thanks to all the experts for their valuable guidance and creating the awareness among the participants about the conservation of agriculture-based crop management technologies in the climate-smart agriculture. Indeed, this knowledge is the need of particularly hour. I also welcome Dr. S.D. Gorantiwar, convener and PI of this CAST project, Dr. M.G. Shinde, co-convener, co-PI, Dr. B.D. Bakre, organizing secretary, all my coordinators, and all team members of my CAST. I also extend my warm welcome to all my dear participants for showing their huge response and active participation in this program. By this time, all the participants are aware that conservation agriculture management is a system that maintains soil cover through the surface retention of crop residue with no till or minimum zero till or minimum tillage. Conservation agriculture is a viable option for sustainable land management, environmental protection, and climate change adoption and mitigation. This particularly CA always enhances the biodiversity and natural biological process above and below the ground surface for improved and sustainable crop productivity. It also provides environmental benefit by reducing soil erosion, nutrient losses, and increasing the resilience of farmers against the climate variability. Conservation agriculture can contribute reducing the greenhouse gases emission by reducing energy inputs, improving the nutrient use efficiency, and stabilizing, protecting soil aggregation by breakdown and the releasing the carbon to the atmosphere. In India, conservation of agriculture is at very budding stage and has only limited to 1.5 million hectares and confined only in Indo-Gangetic plains under the rice wheat system. Therefore, there is a need to develop and promote a conservation agriculture practices in rain-fed, semi-arid, and different agro-ecosystems in India with a long-term research perspective. I congratulate convener, co-convener, organizing secretary, course coordinators, and all my CAST members for their judicious planning and execution for this online training during the lockdown period. I'm sure this will help to create new outlook and awareness in respect of conservation of agriculture based on crop management technology in climate smart agriculture. This activity will ignite the young budding scientists to initiate the conservation agriculture research on the basis of different cropping sequences in agroecological regions of India on long-term basis. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you very much. I hope be safe, protected, healthy during this COVID-19 situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I request to Dr. Mangal Patil to host the next part of the valedictory function. Ma'am, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sonavne. It's time to listen the participants and their feedbacks for the training program they are attending from last 1 week. So we request all the speakers who are going to register their feedbacks here to follow the time limit first, and second to start their videos while speaking here. So in the row, I would like to request Dr. Jitendra Kumar, who is faculty as a subject matter specialist of agricultural engineering at Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Jehanabad, Bihar. Dr. Jitendra Kumar.
Hello.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible, sir.
Yeah. Sir, I am Jitendra Kumar from Krishi Vigyan Kendra Jahanabad under Bihar Agricultural University, Sabor, Bhagalpur. Actually, I am a specialist in agricultural engineering with a special reference to soil and water engineering. Sir,
Hello, go on speaking.
Yatul, sir,
Bolo, bolo.
sir. Yes, sir. Actually, sir, there is a breakable sound, so there is a disturbance. Sir, in this valedictory session, Honorable Chief Guest, sir, Dr. Venkateswarlu, sir.
No, it
Doctor-
takes a lot of time. Please go directly to your.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Please.
Sir, chief guest of this session, Dr. Venkateswarlu, sir, Dr. KP Biswanath, sir, chief guest, Dr. R.V. Deshmukh, sir, Dr. S. Dhawan, sir, a special guest, Dr. Farande, sir, Dr. Gadak, sir, convener of this training program, Gurantiwar, sir, organizing secretary of this program, Dr. Vakre, sir, co-convener of this program, Dr. M.G.
You
Sinde,
go
sir.
on mentioning all the candidates, go on mentioning
Okay, sir.
all the names.
Okay,
It takes
sir.
time. Please
Okay,
go
sir.
directly to your feelings, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you for giving me opportunity to be here as a representative of faculty, sir. First of all, I want to say that, sir, this training program is excellent for faculty members and farmers as well as students who has utilized most beneficially the lockdown period due to COVID-19. And in my perception, sir, it is very much successful program, and I felt no any difference in classroom training and this online training. We learnt a lot, sir, from the esteemed resource persons of different disciplines of reputed institutes of India. They elaborated the concepts of conservation agriculture in very detail, and these are suitable for Indian perceptions. And actually, this topic, sir, and its segment were very interestedly learned by me, and I think this is also taken by all the participants in well manner. The course content was designed so precisely and brilliantly that all the area of climate smart agriculture was covered. We learnt about the pillars of conservation agriculture and how to manage these agricultural technology in climate change condition according to location specificity, soil type, cropping pattern, water availability condition, and global warming situation.
Thank you very
Dr.
much.
Kumar, please.
Actually, sir, various
Thank you very
Kumar.
much, Jitendra Kumar. I appeal to all the participants that you have been given 1 to 1.5 minutes, and you can directly come to your remarks actually. Mangal, please, next.
Yes, yes. Next is Dr. Prashant Bodke, Head Department of Agronomy, Dr. B.S. KKV Dapoli. Sir, please.
Please be in short.
Yes, sir. So please brief.
Very good afternoon, sir. All dignitaries in the platform, I really appreciate and very happy to tell that this program has given a very good ideas or bright ideas to all the participants, especially in the conservation agriculture technologies and basically the crop management technologies which can use in the climate smart agriculture. I'm really appreciated the lectures which has been done by especially by Dr. Emil Jat and Dr. A.R. Sharma, because he really cleared out all the myths as well as he given the all realities for the conservation agriculture and almost all the what are the requirements are there for the future technologies we have to develop. and we have discussed, and every participants, we have been very happy that even in this large gathering also, we cannot able to do all this work, even in the 3 days conferences also, we can done it within, you can say by hours wise, it is in the 1 day, and we are directly asking the question to the experts. And all those experts are very par eminence, because these are the two stalwarts which have started their journey in the conservation agriculture. And I'm really happy that, because in rice prone areas like our in Konkan, we can able to find out some of those solutions, and we have already done with some polymulching technologies also, and doing the DSR, which is one of the best technologies nowadays. Even the ICR has given the advisories to go for the direct seed rice technology, and really this conservation agriculture can be the best answer for the future. And we are correlating this conservation agriculture with the precision agriculture also. I'm really thankful to the MP Rahuri team. Of course, it's my university, and happy to see that one. And really thankful to you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your feedback. Next one is Mr. Abid Ali Siddiqui, who is student of plant pathology, belongs to Karachi University, Pakistan. Mr. Abid. Mr. Abid, I have given you access to unmute yourself at your place, please. Mr. Abid.
Next, you can take next.
Okay, sir. Next one is Shri Sanjeev Mane, who is farmer. Mr. Sanjeev Mane.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Namaskar. Namaste. I am Prishibhushan Sanjeev Ganpatrao Mane at Post Asta, Taluka Valava, District Sangli. I am engaged in sugarcane cultivation by last around 30 years. I attended and listened lectures regarding this conservation agriculture by great scientists, and much informative to me as a sugarcane farmer. It will help me to improve soil health as well as crop health even also. Unknowingly, I am practicing some part of conservation agriculture, that which last 5 days I am listening. Since 1996, about 24 years, I had not burned cane trash and using as a mulch. I am not disturbing land in first and second Ratun even. After second Ratun, I go on my green manuring and using compost made by sugarcane press mud. So the major principles of conservation agriculture, which I listened last 5 days, are one is minimum soil disturbing, second is residue management, and third is crop rotation or diversifying crop system. So I am practicing all major 3 principles. I listened for 5 days and very much thankful to all scientists which they are taught to us. By using these principles and using MPKV's targeted sugarcane yield equations and guidance of Central Sugarcane Research Center, Padegaon, and VSI Pune, I have achieved a higher cane yield, target cane yield. I started in 1997-98. I have got 98.5 metric tons. Variety was 86032. Like that, in 2007-8, I had got 121 metric tons. Variety was COM 0265. In 2013-14, I have got 148 metric tons. Variety was 86032. Last 2-3 years, we are trying to achieve 200 metric tons per acre, but not achieved. But last 2 years, when I was trying, I have got in 2017-18, 167.6 metric tons per acre. Variety was CO 86032. So thank you to Dr. Bhaskar Sarji, Dr. Sunil ji to given chance to participate this such a wonderful training course. Thank you to all scientists which they have given us a wonderful lectures. So I am trying to get much more yield in my sugarcane agriculture. Thank you, sir.
Sanjeev Mane is one of the real practicing conservation agriculturist. Thank you, Sanjeev ji. And I have visited his field, and he is one of the pioneer in Western Maharashtra for the sugarcane concern. We are proud of you, Sanjeev ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are really.
Next.
Next one is Miss Ibimol NL, student of Soil Science and Agricultural Chemistry, PhD student from Kerala Agriculture University. Miss Ibimol.
Unmute.
Unmute Ibimol.
Yes, unmuted, sir. Yes, please.
She has to unmute herself.
Yes. Miss Ibimol, you have muted yourself. Please unmute at your place.
Okay.
Okay, just go ahead.
First of all, I express my sincere gratitude for.
Can you speak loudly?
Okay, ma'am. Good evening to all. First of all, I express my sincere gratitude for all the faculty members and all the organizing members for conducting such a very wonderful online training program. And it was a very wonderful program, and to use our time very effectively and informatively, and all the sessions were very informative. To use our time very effectively during these lockdown days, and all the speakers were conveyed the topics very effectively, and also we got a clear idea about different aspects of conservation agriculture, its importance, principles, practices, and also a brief idea about economic energy analysis in different systems, and also in detail about the carbon sequestration and also the mitigation of climate change effect, etc. So in this limited period of time, we got a lot of information about by this section. And also, so once again, I thank all the faculty members and speakers for giving us such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Ibimol. Next one is Dr. Anvesha Mandal, PhD scholar from Cornell University, USA. Miss Anvesha.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, you are audible.
A very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would thank the whole team of CAST, Climate Smart Agriculture and Water Management, MPKV Rahuri, for conducting such an excellent training program. Like, I am a PhD scholar from BCKV and working as an SRF on CAST, on Conservation Agriculture Project. And presently I am in Cornell University completing my international exposure training of CAST. Like many of us are working on conservation agriculture, either individually or in small groups throughout the country. And this training provided an opportunity to interact, to know the other members of the same fraternity, and enriched us with their experiences. Like eminent conservation experts like Dr. Jat, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Biswas, Dr. Deshmukh, Dr. Sharma, Dr. Bipin Kumar, and Dr. Mandal has given insights on different important aspects of conservation agriculture. And like I, on the behalf of whole team of CAST Conservation Agriculture, look forward to have their comments and guidance beyond this training as well. Last but not the least, I feel happy to be a part of this training, online training program. Like had this been an in-person training program, I would have surely missed the opportunity given my present status. So thank you all of you again for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. And yes, stay home and stay safe.
Next. Hello.
Thank you, Ms. Mandal. Next one is Dr. Sugir Tharan, lecturer at Eastern University, Sri Lanka. Mr. Sugir Tharan.
I'm Sugir Tharan, Sri Lanka.
Sir, your sound is very much echoing, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sugir Taran, hold your mic.
Please stabilize your video, sir, first.
Actually, Dr. Sugir Tharan is alumni of MPKV Rauri. He did his MSc from IWM, faculty of IWM, and he is my student actually.
Can you hear me, sir?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you for giving this opportunity to participate in this training program. And actually, I got this information regarding this from Bhaskar.
Hold your mic here. Speak loudly.
And it's ideal time to participate in the course as we are locked down most of the time inside the house. So regarding the course, I can say I am very much about this course.
Dr. Sugir Tharan.
Next, please.
Okay, sir. Okay. Next one is Shri Avinash Bhange, who is a farmer from Kolar, Taluka Rahata, District Ahmednagar. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Good
Avinash,
afternoon,
please.
all the VIPs and experts on the dais. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. You are audible.
Good afternoon. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon to all the VIPs and experts on the dais. Your Excellency, Dr. Babusaheb Bhakre, thank you for you to allow me to participate in the international program of conservation agriculture arranged by Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith Rauri. Let me thank Dr. Bhakre sir and his team, Sunil Thola and Dr. Sonavne for their precious guidance and in conservation agriculture, and with my efforts, I was able to improve my soil yield and soil conditions as my soil reports are with them. The training program was really excellent and knowledgeable. Thank you to all the experts for giving me the knowledge. Thank you, Dr. Neelam Kanse, for his lectures on machineries on zero tillage. Thank you, Dr. Pratibha, on her lecture on less of production, rainfed irrigation, and really appreciate by her that 60 centimeters of crop residues should be left to the soil. Thank you, Dr. Kumar, in 3-row bed systems, and most appreciated lecture, minimum soil. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
I think my video is off, sir.
Okay, let it be.
Thank you to Dr. A.S.P. Vani on nutrition minimum soil distribution, maintaining soil covers by 30% extra, etc. And Dr. A.R. Sharma announcing the sowing dates of various crops and apply of 50% NPK, which is important for new commerce in village in zero tillage. Last but not the least, Dr. Biswapati Mandal lectures on fixing carbon and not to leave microbes unhappy. I found some difficulties in non-tilling, sir, which I would like to mention. We don't have proper machineries and equipments like sowing machines, cutters and rollers. Secondly, use of heavy harvesters that compact the soil. And thirdly, continuous mulching leads to invitation for rats, followed by snakes, which is dangerous for farmers and laborers. In the end, I would plead experts that there should be some principles and guidelines regarding all the crops continues to be followed in consumer agriculture. Awareness in farmers is very important. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bhange. Thanks to all participants who have shared their feedbacks over here. Now it's time to distribute the certificates. We are distributing certificates of few of the participants who have successfully participated and completed this 1 week online training program. These certificates are distributed in the presence of Honorable Chief Guest, Guest of Honors, Chairman, and esteemed experts and other dignitaries here in the platform. As a representative of all, I am showing the certificates over here, sir. Along with this, there is one more announcement. We are going to have groups of photographs. So for this purpose, we request all the participants to start their videos while certificates are displaying here. First certificate is given to Miss Renuka Gorka, who is SMS at KVK Panisagar, North Tripura. Second certificate is given, second certificate is, sorry sir, second certificate is given to Miss Renuka Gorka, who is a student of PhD Soil Science and Agriculture Chemistry, Sher-e-Kashmir University of Agricultural Science and Technology, Srinagar. Third certificate is given to Ms. Dr. Umesh Singh, who is Professor of Department of Agronomy, Agriculture University, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Next certificate is given to Dr. Ashok A.D., who is Assistant Professor of Institute of Agriculture, Kumulur, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Tamil Nadu. Next certificate is given to Shri Manoj Kumar Ahirwar, who is a scientist at Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Damoha, JNKVV, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. And last one is given to Mr. Prashant of Agriculture and Animal Science, Kathmandu, Nepal. Remaining certificates will be given to the participants through email, on their email. Thank you. I would like to request all the participants to start their videos because we are taking group photographs. And some from our coordinators will take the photographs, screenshots of the screen.
Next, please.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Rohit Sonawne to host the next part of the validatory function. Dr. Rohit, please.
Thank you, Dr. Patil. Now it's time to listen our respected experts and their views. So I would request Dr. A.R. Sharma, Director of Research, Rani Lakshmibai Central Agricultural University, Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. Sir, please.
Dr. Ajit Sharma, I have unmuted you. I have given you access. Please unmute yourself at your place, please, sir.
In the meantime, please go to next.
Okay, sir.
Dr. Rohit, please take next, sir.
Yes, sir. Now I request to Dr. A.K. Biswas, Principal Scientist and Head, Division of Soil Chemistry and Fertility, Indian Institute of Soil Science, Bhopal, to give their views. Sir, please. Dr. A.K. Biswas, sir.
Sir, I couldn't find him in the list.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Can we go
Can you
ahead?
take please next?
Rohit, move to next.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now I would request today's guest, Chandralal Gaikwad, Vadapashi Vidyapit, Parmani, to address us. Sir, please.
Okay, am I audible? I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Honorable Chairman of this function, and respected Vice Chancellor Dr. K.P. Viswanatha, sir. My predecessor Vice Chancellor Dr. B. Venkateswarlu from Hyderabad. Our beloved, another veteran in the Maharashtra, and ex-Vice Chancellor of MPKV Rahuri, Dr. Rajaramji Deshmukh, sir. Organizers of this training program, Sunilji Gorantiwar, Professor Bakre, his colleagues, Dean Dr. Ashokji Farande, Dr. Gadakji, fellow participants, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I express my sincere thanks to the organizer for having me invited for this valedictory function and to be a part of this very wonderful program. Thanks to the technology, in fact, I was really excited to see the different persons sitting in a different parts of the globe, rather. It was truly an international seminar. Almost every part of the globe has been represented by one or other partner and participants. So that's a really wonderful feeling for me to see the participants, and they have also presented the profile of the participants. There's a whole range of professionals. Some of them, they are the scientists, active scientists in the field. Some of them, they are the extension workers. There are postgraduate students, and most important, the practicing farmers are also there. So that's a very wonderful experience for me to witness that the participants, the diverse background. I'm also very happy to note that the organizers, they have drawn the experts from the different institutions representing different institutions, Krida, Hyderabad, Indian Institute of Soil Science, Bhopal, then Rani Lakshmibai University of Central Agricultural University, and so on and so forth. So it's really wonderful, and the theme which they have chosen, that conservation agriculture. Friends, the declining quality of the resource base is very much a cause of concern to all of us, particularly of the land resources, water resources, biosphere. Everything is at the verge of degradation. A lot of problems are being faced. There is a declining status of the organic carbon, the degradation of physical degradation of the soil resources, imbalances in the nutrient in the soil. Same is the case with the water resources. So the theme which is chosen by the organizer is really very relevant, and I'm sure that all those experts, they have a very long standing in the field. They must have taken the stock of the situation and the stock of the status of these resources and the kind of technology generated so far, and how best we can make use of this technology, and what's the future course of action. Because particularly the young scientists who were the participants in the training program, they must have got a better insight into the whatever available technologies and what is the research directions to ensure that in the years to come, the quality of resource will be not only maintained, but how best we can improve upon it so that we can sustain the production and productivity of the agricultural commodities in years to come. Things are very difficult from the point of view of the COVID-19, but it has not stopped us meeting together in a different platform. Perhaps we are now entering into a different era of, meeting on a different platform in a digital mode, and no one can stop us exchanging our thoughts, ideas, sharing the diocese. And this is a kind of feeling that I think we have started a totally new work culture together, thanks to the COVID-19, which has taught us to explore the different ways and means to come together. And it is in this context I feel that my presence, to see you all in person, particularly I am still excited to see my predecessor Vice Chancellor. He's not visible on the screen, but I'm really excited to see him. Of course, Sanjeev Mane was a very old friend of mine. I still remind yes, thank you, sir. I still remind myself of his association. I had a opportunity to visit his own farm, as Dr. K.P. Viswanatha has told rightly, and he's really a practicing agriculture, not only practicing agriculture, but I'm enjoying his YouTube presentations on the sugarcane cultivation. I think the kind of this seminar or kind of this training program will go a long way in strengthening our ties as a research worker, as an extension worker, as a user farmer of these resources. I hope that in years to come, it will open a new possibilities for us. Once again, thanking the organizer for inviting me to be a part of this program. Thank you very much.
Mangal, Rohit.
Unmute.
Hello, sorry, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request today's another guest, respected Dr. Rajaram Deshmukh, former Vice Chancellor and Academic Council member, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith Rahuri, to share their views. Sir, please.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
And also visible. Actually, I have some of network, not very sound network connectivity, but I shall do my level best. I was approached by Dr. Bhakre. I told him this difficulty, but then at the same time, I just wanted to be very much part of this program. So if there are any problems, kindly bear with me. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Chairman of the session, Dr. Vishwanatha sir, respected today's chief guest and former Vice Chancellor of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith, and really the Executive Council member of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith, Dr. Venkat Sharula. Vice Chancellor Dr. Dhawan from Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith, Dr. Ashok Farande, Dr. Sharad Gadak, Director Research and Extension Education, Convener Dr. Sunil Gorantiwar, Head Department of Agriculture Engineering and Principal Investigator, Co-Convener Dr. Sinde, Organizing Secretary Dr. Sahib Bhakre, experts of the training, and the participants. Today I am really very happy to get associated with this training program through this valedictory function. Probably this is, might be earlier you might have conducted, but earlier we didn't have this experience of conducting online international training program. Even national level or state level, we never had. And the theme chosen was very appropriate and very timely, I will say. The conservation agriculture based crop management technologies in climate smart agriculture. Now, this is what is bothering us for last, I will say, almost 2 decades now. Considering the conservation agriculture concept, so far it was restricted mostly to the wheat, rice, wheat belt, you may say, north zone, maybe Bihar and eastern UP, West Bengal. But to me, I think the Maharashtra and central and southern India, which is predominantly a rain-fed agriculture, needs this more than the other states. The degradation of natural resources, particularly land and water, is really more serious in rain-fed agriculture rather than the areas where some canal water is available. More so during this of climate change. We know the soils in rainfed area are of varying. And under this situation, the eroded soils with either late monsoon or early withdrawal of monsoon. See, every year some other situation is happening and the farmers are facing this problem. The productivity rates, no doubt, in irrigated area, so almost rather they are reducing. And to overcome this, I think there is no than to practice conservation agriculture. There is other goal. Now, the government of Maharashtra and even the government of India have been practicing some different arid and semi-arid areas, dryland areas, and it has helped farmers, but it was mostly focused on water conservation, followed by some farm ponds, and then maybe some focus on micro irrigation. But to me, this is not enough. For rain-fed areas, we really need a approach. The choice of crops, cropping systems, and that to suit the moisture availability in soils. Unless we go for this, mere conservation may not be very useful, because it is quite possible that that water, whatever is conserved through watershed development program, may be misused by farmers knowingly or unknowingly. Maybe by not selecting the appropriate crops and varieties, which are more efficient. Fortunately, friends, a very good pathway has been shown to us by Dr. Venkat Sharlu and his team as a director, the Central Institute. They themselves and their cooperating centers attached to different agriculture universities all over the country have shown and have developed excellent dry land farming techniques. Now, these techniques, what I feel, have not found place in our extension programs to the extent it should have. All our development, agricultural development programs are mostly subsidy based, and those are seeds of yielding varieties and hybrids, fertilizers, and maybe the irrigation water management. Lot of funds are spent on building of dams and opening of channels, but this is not the rain-fed farmer to that extent. Maybe it was easy, you see, easy to produce and distribute seeds, give license to private seed companies to develop new hybrids, sell their seeds or the pesticides and so on. Now, what is needed is really the in situ moisture conservation and its efficient utilization. Now, our conservation agriculture in dry land is focused on this only. You see, the identify appropriate varieties, crops, cropping systems. For example, say intercropping. Intercropping system has helped, but is not practiced by all the rain-fed farmers. Similarly, very good crop rotations have been suggested. The moisture conservation techniques, maybe the compartment bending, maybe live bunds, even the BBF technology, broad bed furrow technology. Now, no doubt in conservation agriculture, we talk of minimum tillage or minimum disturbance to soil. True, it is true. We should not open soil unnecessarily so that it will be eroded by rainwater. But at the same time, then we need to develop certain good implements which can help in developing the crops without opening the floor. Till that, I think broad flow are the in situ moisture conservation. I need not to elaborate it for since there is a time. What I feel here that since the soils and the climate where the rain-fed agriculture is practiced are in nature. So no one can hold everywhere. Our research programs are mainly financed by the ICR. Most of the research that is undertaken by the universities gets funding from ICR, and these programs are probably chalked out or planned at national level. Maybe there is again little more dominance of the irrigated tract. Naturally, all resources and the efforts, most of them are spared for irrigated agriculture and very little for rain, except CRIDA. I don't see any other good research stations all over the country are really focusing on a state like Maharashtra needs this very much. I think it is now the time that whatever technologies have been developed by CRIDA and the agricultural university should find a emphasis, rather, there should be major emphasis on, in extension or development programs in popularizing these technologies developed by CRIDA and their cooperating centers. Here, I would like to, I may quote you my own experiences as I worked as a pulses builder for a very long time in practice for arid legumes, particularly more, and to my surprise, it was almost doubling the yield. When we saw it in Marathi, it was dhul perni, or in English at dry seeding. Now stripping our mud bean and horse gram in millets like pearl millet, she conserves as well as moisture. Also suppresses yield, suppresses weeds. Since pulses have different durations like moog, udad, and maybe then pigeon pea and horse gram and cow pea and many others, they fit very well in intercropping systems with different crops, also in crops like cotton and many other crops. Not only for, but they also are very good, rather suitable crops for as a rotation crops in sequence cropping, like moong or maybe cotton or sorghum and pearl millet followed by chickpea. Now, pigeon pea has very, very important role in rain-fed agriculture as an intercrop. You can see the data is available. When you grow it as an intercrop in bajra, in maybe that is pearl millet, or in sorghum, or in soybean, even in moong udad, any other short duration crops, LER is more than 1.7. From one same unit area, you are harvesting 1.7 times yield or the benefit to the farmer. So also the contingency crop planning, that work also excellent work done by CRIDA and the dryland research stations. Very important role in contingent planning, contingent crop. Not only the crops, but I will again quote my one more experience. I developed several varieties of pulses, and 9 varieties. Almost you can say there was no state left in the country where the varieties developed at Rahuri were not released. But then the variety which I liked most was named as Vijay. It was Vijay. It was really victory against wilt and drought. Now this was released for Central Zone in 1993, and still today many farmers have their own seeds and they are growing this particular variety. It has lasted so long. It has a different nature. See, a bushy nature of growing. When it grows, when it is 1 month or 1.5 month old crop, you can't see soil. It covers land totally, conserves moisture, and that is really leading to drought tolerance or better yields from this variety under receding moisture condition. So the message to give to breeders, the conservation agriculture is not only to be bothered by agronomists and soil scientists and engineers, but basically is to start with the breeders. They should develop such varieties which can really help in retaining the moisture in the soil for longer time. They should have the varieties with such a duration that it should complete its life cycle by the time the moisture is over or exhausted from the soil. Friends, I think I have taken maybe quite some time in elaborating the things, but I very much congratulate the Vice Chancellor and his team for organizing this training program. So, very important topic, and to start very soon. So before that, this training program has been so I really congratulate you all related to the function. I am also glad that 2 more stalwarts, particularly when and have been invited for this concluding session. I am sure they have Dr. Dhawan has already addressed, but I am sure Venkateshwarlu will have many more things to share with us. Thank you, Chairman, sir, and thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have live streamed this program through our YouTube channel. So there are currently about 100 views.
Okay, thank you.
Now it's time to listen our chief guest, respected Dr. P. Venkateshwarlu, former Vice Chancellor, Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapit, Parmani, and Executive Council member of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit, Rahuri. Sir, please.
First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Vishwanatha for inviting me, and also very pleased to see my colleague Dr. Dhawan, who just spoke, and also Dr. Deshmukh, a veteran for Maharashtra state, having given wonderful direction to the state agriculture. And I was just looking at the number of participants, and I was amazed that for an online course, you could attract more than 650 people from so many countries, as Dr. Dhawan said. And the most important is, from Pakistan, generally, you cannot get participant if it is a normal course because you don't get visa. But here you don't need visa, for online. So it's actually cutting across the borders, and you are able to overcome that visa problem. Because in last time when we organized Aurangabad, so many Pakistanis who wanted to come, but none of them could get visa because it's very difficult to get visa for India. So this is one point I noted. And in the last 2 months, I have been participating in some of the online meetings and some like this, some giving some comments here and there. But this is the first time I see such a, diverse, very large number of participating and very actively. And also the profile of participants from KVK to teachers to active research and even students from US, Cornell and even from Africa, several countries. So I really compliment the leadership of Dr. Vishwanath and also Goran Tiwar. When this cast came, nobody was clear as to how these things will actually go. But now, despite the problem of COVID and all, you are able to, really organize this kind of training programs with such a large scale, inviting. And then also, Dr. Bhakare, of course, did consult me for the faculty, and I am glad to see very, people who are very relevant for this field, very eminent, Dr. Jad, Dr. Vani, many people. So they have really, I'm sure they must have really covered the subject in its entirety. But I would like to take this opportunity to give a little background of this CA, historical background, and also the current context in our country and where it actually fits and what are the challenges. As you all know, the conservation agriculture as a concept and as a practice is not new. It started almost 60 to 70 years ago after the Great Dust Bowl in USA, after around Second World War. They had a lot of mechanization in USA, introduced mechanization after the tractor and all. And they saw a lot of soil blowing out, in the Great Plains. So the idea was born at that time, how to conserve this soil from this, erosion, wind erosion there especially. So then the concept came that to leave the crop cover. And, but then if you see, even in 1960s, 70s, 80s, the CA as a practice has evolved a lot. And in those countries, like US, Brazil, Argentina, it's very common. It's a lot of work has been done. And but surprisingly, globally, if you see, most of the CA is practiced in rainfed agriculture. But in India, we have been able to cover almost 1.5 million hectares just now, Farande said. In fact, at one time, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it touched 2 million hectares. Dr. R.K. Gupta was the in charge at that time for Rice Wheat Consortium. But slowly later on, due to lack of mechanization and some other constraint farmers have been facing, the area has come down now. So we have a very different kind of challenge, which I would little bit later address. But in US and Argentina, Brazil and all, they have, they generally, they use a lot of fertilizers, of course, and then they get a lot of biomass, and they leave the entire biomass on the field because they don't need that biomass as a fodder. That is the difference, in our country, especially even in irrigated agriculture, somewhere wheat straw, somewhere rye straw, somewhere sorghum straw, somewhere bajra straw. Every bit of the straw is used for livestock as a fodder. This is something very unique to India and other developing countries. And that is why the second cardinal principle of CA, there are three cardinal principles of CA. One is minimum tillage or minimum disturbance of soil. Some people call zero tillage, minimum tillage, no tillage, whatever it is. Second is surface cover. That means leave as much cover on the surface as possible. And third, of course, is crop rotation. Now, the second practice, the leave a lot of residue on soil, except in Indo-Gangetic plains, where people are able to leave the paddy straw, paddy residue before they plant wheat. In other areas, particularly in the peninsular area, where the livestock is a major component, we are not able to actually spare that residue to be left on the surface soil, just like that. Because we harvest completely, leaving only 10 centimeters stubble, and we use it as a fodder. So that is the biggest challenge, we are really facing in this country. But luckily, in the last 2-3 decades, there has been a change. Now, more and more livestock farmers are going for stall feeding. And now some crops like, maize, etc., they are not used that much. Sugarcane, for example, maize, for example, many legumes, they are not used actually as fodder. And earlier, much of the legume hulls, they were used as a fuel wood. Thanks to free gas subsidy, gas cylinder distribution for the entire country, the use of biomass for fuel also has come down. Therefore, now compared to 2-3 decades ago, we have more residue to use on the surface, even in dryland areas. But the problem there is, in dryland areas, especially in Maharashtra and southern states, we have a long dry season between two crop seasons. We have only one single Kharif season, which ends by October, November. So during that long 6 months time, lot of termites damage the, the.
Hello.
This is something I just want to, am I audible now since beginning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is some challenge I would like to, bring to the notice of my colleagues, younger colleagues, especially in dryland. Now, the second point is that, as Dr. Deshmukh has very eloquently said, in rain-fed agriculture or in dryland agriculture, we should not blindly follow the Western principle of CA, the leaving residue, no tillage, and crop rotation. Of course, it is applicable universally. Everywhere it is applicable, crop diversification or rotation. But the first two principles, we have to take some, we have to use some, our own judgment. For example, in all dryland areas, historically, we always say, once in 3 years deep tillage, so that you capture the rainwater as much as possible and also expose the larvae and all to the, so that you minimize the pest residue. And therefore, conservation of rainwater is a more priority in dryland area than anything else. Everything becomes secondary. So therefore, in dryland agriculture, therefore, conservation of rainwater and conservation of soil, they should be the main points, in the so-called CA. So we need to really modify the CA and Indianize it the way it is relevant for our country, the way we practice. And once you agree with this principle, then you will realize that we are following CA in all the peninsular India, be it Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra, etc., from 30-40 years, because we are all doing conservation of rainfall, bunding, all these CCTs. This is all conservation. We are conserving soil and conserving water. These are the basic two, important natural resources in agriculture. Therefore, we are actually already doing in CA unknowingly, and we must actually highlight this issue to the global community, because many people say that dryland, you are not doing any CA, you must do our own, many people come from Mexico, from US, from Brazil, and they teach us, that you are not aware of this, you please do this, don't do tillage and all. Yes, we agree. Disturbing soil is definitely a problem. But, the point is we have to strike a balance between how much tillage is required in drylands. We cannot, blindly take the irrigated agriculture's principles of zero till. Even in irrigated agriculture, in those countries like US, Brazil, and that, they don't do tillage. Never. I mean, year after year, they don't do tillage because they have one crop season and they plant that single crop season on the last year's residue. Whereas in our case in Indo-Gangetic Plain, we plant wheat with a happy seeder in this rice residue. But next year, when you want to plant rice, again you have to do tillage. You have to puddle the field and again you have to transplant the rice. So that means, we really cannot, take the CA which we have been hearing for the last 2-3 decades, even in irrigated agriculture, because we have our own, we have very high intensive cropping, we have very high cropping intensity. We cannot keep our land fallow even for a month. We have 3 crops in Indo-Gangetic Plains. So therefore, our own Indo-Gangetic Plains also, we are following CA to some extent, but still we still have to do some degree of tillage for at least one crop. So, but even then, the kind of benefits we have observed in an IGP, both in the Trans-Gangetic Plains, Indo-Gangetic Plains, both central and eastern India, we have observed tremendous benefits, advantage in terms of, in terms of soil conservation, in terms of water management, in terms of water saving, in terms of energy saving, in terms of labor saving. In fact, in NATP, one of the main principle of this rainfed ecosystem, irrigated ecosystem was on this. And they are very conclusively proven, And then with all that, and coming to climate change, because of this training course context, in climate change, after all, if you can save water, save energy, save soil, save carbon, that is you are adapting to climate change. And conservation agriculture does all these things. Everything it does. So therefore, there is no other agriculture practice which is most relevant to climate change adaptation as that of conservation agriculture. So that way, this training program is extremely relevant, extremely contextual, extremely meaningful to the caste which Dr. Goran Tiwara has taken up in Rahuri. Now, in the Indo-Gangetic plains also, there has been a lot of effort in, because conservation agriculture, one of the most critical factors for its success is the machinery. I think many times, the soil scientists and agronomists, they ignore the agricultural engineers. They think they can do everything, they think that they can do practice, but without a machine, in US and other countries, there the machine came first and then CA came later. But in our country, unfortunately, we don't have proper machinery. Initially, we imported some Mexico, Brazil and all, and Punjab, some manufacturers came up and then they started. And as a result, now we have a lot of happy seeders. Then, many other machinery. They're able to manage the residue, straw, rice straw, and also still plant the wheat without taking out the rice straw. So that machinery is still not available for all the farmers. Therefore, still it is very slowly, and people are also facing some. And two problems which conservation agriculture, rice wheat ecosystem is also facing. One is the weed problems. Second is the nematode problem. These two are very, very unique to conservation agriculture and irrigated system, because the weed management is very tough. You have to really use very high quantity of herbicides. And nematodes actually, if you don't disturb the soil for large number of years, nematodes actually build up. So nematode control becomes a very, very big issue. Fortunately, in wheat, they are not very serious. But if you go for vegetable cultivation, then you won't get any crop. Totally, they are destroyed. So these are two issues which we must, the breeders and other scientists should keep in mind. But otherwise, energy we save, carbon we save, water we save, labor we save. In fact, all these are actually quantified. Dr. Jat and other people must have given you a lot of details on this. So therefore, putting in right context, I would like to say that for CA, for Indian context, we need a different context for irrigated also as compared to Brazil, US, Argentina. And for rain-fed, we need totally different context, because in rain-fed, we just cannot compare the rain-fed agriculture of Brazil, Argentina, where they have a long duration single crop season, and they leave the residue of last year till this year. And they don't have termite problem as this much, and they have winter rains, they have precipitation, they have snowfall. So all that actually keeps the residue intact. If you go to US and all, Michigan and other Illinois and all, after they harvest the maize, lot of snowfall comes, So the snow actually keeps the residue attached to the soil, and snow slowly melts and it keeps the residue wet. Whereas in our country, after the Kharif is harvested, there is a dry period. So therefore, we have a different challenge as compared to those countries. Therefore, our scientists should understand these basic differences so that we design a CA which is appropriate to our country, both in rain-fed as well as irrigated. So for irrigated also, we need a slightly different strategy. And for rain-fed, we need an entirely different strategy, because we don't have the luxury of snowfall. We don't have the luxury of heavy rains like in US, and we don't have the luxury of keeping the residue on the surface, because we need fodder. But wherever we can do, in Krida, when we did these coordinated experiments across the country, we found among the rain-fed locations, indoor we were able to demonstrate in soybean wheat system, it is possible to plant wheat without harvesting soybean. That means you just pick up the pods, leave the soybean hulls in the field, and then you can plant wheat directly. So like that, you can plant chickpea also. So like that, there are some, wherever there is a double cropping possible, wherever you have a length of growing season more than 180 days, 180, 200 days, 240 days, wherever there is a double cropping practice, there, especially in black soils, there you can have a sort of conservation agriculture of this kind, where you leave the kharif residue in the field, which is not used as a fodder, and go for a rabi crop. And but then this is my overall understanding. But then the local scientists in their working in their own area where they are having cropping systems, they can visualize what kind of challenges they will face, what residue they can spare for them. But going forward, I would say that the livestock also, perhaps the dependency of livestock on crop residues perhaps will slowly decrease. So stall feeding will increase more and more. So then in that case, we will have little residue to spare, even in dryland agriculture also, and that much we should be able to live on the surface. But the problem still will be the termites. So we really have to, the entomologists have to work out, that what is the strategy to preserve the residue till the next crop season, despite the very dry environment that goes for about 4 to 5 months, almost from February to June, almost 6 months, continuous dry period. So this is certain, and this is Dr. Deshmukh just now mentioned before me. So I fully agree with him that, the kind of effort we require to make in dryland agriculture to promote this soil and water conservation, so that we make the climate change adaptation. We have not been able to do it, Therefore, now when we talk about climate smart agriculture or climate change or climate change adaptation, we must emphasize this basic principle of conserving soil, conserving water. It may not look fashionable because we have been doing for many years. People say, what is new? So it is not new, but it is very critical. It continues to be important. So therefore, people have to understand this, and people have to promote this, and then only we will be able to conserve. And finally, one or two words about Maharashtra. Of course, Maharashtra, you must really come out with a good strategy. We have a lot of sugarcane residue. So sugarcane residue is not very much used as a fodder also, to the extent other crops. So if you can, manage, come out with a very good system of managing sugarcane residue, and then go for the other crops, short duration crops, vegetables, and then again sugarcane, whatever it is, you can really build good. And you also have in Konkan rice farming. We have some very eminent farmer, Dr. Bhavadkar. He has done a lot of work on rice, also conservation. Vidarbha also we have some examples. But in drylands, we have not done much. Therefore, we need to really see which are the cropping systems where we can follow this practice. And so I think it's a big challenge for the researchers. And I'm very glad that the very relevant program has been taken up, and excellent participation, excellent faculty. And I'm sure the program must have served its purpose. And thank you very much for the organizers for having invited me. They invited me for giving a lecture, but I said, I am too outdated to give a lecture. Maybe I will just summarize some few points at the end. So they agreed, and I'm thankful to them. And thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, I would request to respected Dr. K.P. Vishwanatha, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith Rahuri, to enlighten the session with your words. Sir, please.
We are not hearing you, Vishwanatha.
Okay.
Yeah, now
Good evening, everyone. Honorable Chief Guest of today's valedictory function, Dr. Venkateshwarlu ji, and both the guests of honor, Dr. R.B. Deshmukh and Dr. A.S. Bhavan, and both our directors, Dean, Dr. Gadak, and the COST team headed by Dr. Goran Tiwar, supported by Dr. Shinde, and the organizing secretary of this, Dr. Bakre. More particularly, the experts, almost from CAU, Jhansi, Dr. Sharma, Jat from CIMMET, and from West Bengal, Vishwapati Mandal, and from Bhopal, Dr. Vishwas Sami Reddy from Krita, Hyderabad, and ICRISAT farmer scientist Dr. S.P. Vani, Dr. Pratibha, D.P. Kumar, and one of our scientists from from PDKV Akola. And thanks to experts and more particularly the versatile and diverse participants from across the country, across the globe, and including the farmers' friends. I'm very happy, and because every time the information of our guest as well as the guests of honor, this may be around, this is our 26th or 27th training program after the lockdown started from first week of April. I think we have touched almost more than 600 students, staff, scientists across India and across globe. Now more than 4,000 farmers. We had 4 farmers program in Marathi, digital marketing, organic farming. And also we celebrated World Honeybee Day, on just a day before yesterday. And we have been fully engaged thanks to the technology, thanks to NEHEP of ICR. Our CAST team is fully engaged, and with the very good leadership of our Dr. Gorantiwar. And I am proud of our team. Really, we are doing a wonderful job. And as our Davan Venkateshwarlu mentioned, it's a wonderful platform to bring everyone together. And I suppose our Dr. Venkateshwarlu is also incidentally our executive council member, and Dr. R.B. Deshmukh is our academic council member. Both have given a very good insight. Dr. Venkateshwarlu he has analyzed very overall about the history, starting from history of conservation agriculture to what are the problems in dryland, Western countries, and also what is the problems in what are limiting factors in Indian agriculture to follow conservation agriculture. I don't want to go into the details of the subject because you have already heard for the last 5 days, and you must have got very good information. But only thing as a concluding this one as a presidential remark, I'm really happy for the compliments to all the participants from across the country and all from the outside also. And we are going very crucial situation. And every day I'm seeing the COVID infected population in each one in the different countries and all. Just about 15 days back, I was thinking India is better, but now we are crossing 1.2 lakh infected. Of course, the recovery is also good. Around we are almost touched 40%, but still that scare, that the fear is not gone. We need to be very careful. And some people are telling thanks to COVID giving us new ideas how to get engaged and how to reach different, take the technology to different form. Thanks to this technology, Zoom, whatever you call, GoToMeeting, Zoom, or whatever, maybe this one. Thanks to the technology, sitting in our home, and this one we can all see together, see at a time, and talk together. It's a thanks to the technology. And I think in future, it may be, we may not be able to, or we may need not spend a lot of money on traveling to participating in international or seminars, conferences. We can have definitely a meaningful seminar like this. And this is one. And information of the guests, I think we in one of the we had more than 850 participants. And the Deshmukh Sahab, we had a training program on omics, where scientists and people were there. DDG Cosmetics was the chief guest during Valley. And I think our team has touching all sides, all problems, including engineering and so on, which are related, linked to the conservation agriculture and also, the climate smart agriculture. With these words, I already, because we wanted to finish this before 5:30. Anyway, by the time it comes to me, we always exhaust the time and they give me very less time. So that's why I don't want to talk much, except thanking all of you and wishing all of you, yes, be safe and take care of yourself. We need to be careful. That too, especially about the Maharashtra. I think today I saw it is the number is crossing 1/3, more than 1/3. It is around 41 or 42,000 infections in Maharashtra. We need to be very careful and we have to win over this virus. But it takes time. We need to be careful. And my appeal to all the participants and all of you, let us please stay home, follow the rules of the game, that is the social distancing, use of masks, and also use of sanitizers, and let us see that spread of this one is controlled. And I think in the conservation agriculture, I think my request to this one, we need to introduce this as a subject in one of this one, because as agronomists are also this one, soil scientists and engineering, all there should be a sort of interdisciplinary subject. And I am thankful to Dr. Sanjeev Mane, one of our farmers. He is really a practicing conservation agriculturist, and as our Venkateshwarlu suggested, sugarcane is one of the things which we can focus on conserving. Ultimately, we need to conserve the carbon, enhance the carbon. And my concern always is in the Indian soils are the organic carbon content of the Indian soil have come down. We need to focus more on that. It may be good agricultural practice, it may be conservation of agriculture, or it may be organic farming, or you can put more of compost and organic manure to the soil, whatever it may be. Ultimately, we need to enhance the organic carbon content of our soils. In general, it has come down, and the productive potentiality of our soil has come down. It is not important, it is not enough if we can develop only the breeds or the varieties that are concerned. At the same time, we need to enhance the productive capacity of our soils, especially by enhancing the soil organic carbon. So that way, the conservation agriculture plays a very important role in future to come. I think our times are over. I think we will be spending time in research and all. It is for the youngsters to take this technology further. And unless you take this as a subject and also seriously, it is very difficult to maintain the sustainability and the productive potentiality of our farm to feed the growing population of our country. With these words, I thank both the chief guest, Dr. Venkateshwarlu sir, and also both the guests of honor, Dr. R.V. Deshmukh, as well as Dr. Dhawan, and all the experts for sparing their time, giving their valuable input for this training program. And also thanks to our CAST team for organizing this sort of this one by selecting different categories of participants. With these words, I wish you once again good evening, and be safe and take care. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You are always been the source of energy for us. Now, I would request to respected Dr. Sharad Gadak, Director of Research and Director of Extension Education, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith Rahuri, to extend the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Good evening to all the participants of online training program on conservation of agriculture based crop management technology in climate smart agriculture. As we come to the end of the training program, it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of MPKV Rahuri to all who have helped making this event such success. In the beginning, I will like to thank Dr. K.P. Viswanathan sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of MPKV Rahuri, who emphasized the importance of training program on important topics and lead to the organize the series of training program during this lockdown situation. I wish to record my sincere thanks to respected Dr. B. Venkateswarlu, sir, former Vice Chancellor of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith, Parbhani, and Executive Council member of the MPKV Rahuri, is for being with us as a chief guest. I thanks from the bottom of heart to my Dr. R.B. Deshmukh, sir, former Vice Chancellor and member of Academic Council and member of Research Council of MPKV Rahuri, for always being with us and guide us for formulation of research action plan for the welfare of the farmers of this region. My sincere thanks to the Dr. A.S. Dhawan sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith, Parbhani, for his presence and valuable guidance for this validatory function. I wish to thank Dr. Ashokji Parande, my colleagues, Dr. Dean Faculty of Agriculture and Director of Instruction, MPKV Rahuri. Also, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to all the speakers for giving the nice lecture on conservation of agriculture, which will definitely helpful to the participant of the training program. I would like to extend my thanks to Dr. Gorantiwar, SD Gorantiwar, Head Department of Agricultural Engineering and PI of the CAST project and convener of this program, and also co-convener Dr. Mukul Shinde of this program, and organizing secretary and head department of soil science, Dr. B.D. Bhakre, for this training program, and all the training coordinators, Dr. Rohit Sonone, Dr. Sunil Thorat, Dr. Nilam Kondulkar, Engineer Mohsin Tamboli, for making the program successful. Thanks to all other staff and personals involved in the training program and all the trainees participants for their active participation in this training program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. With the permission of chair, I declared the end of the valedictory function and online training as well. Thank you all for being with us. See you soon in another training. Thank you very much.
Rohit, have some announcements. So.
Yes, sir.
Some announcements regarding the quiz and assignment.
Sir, already forwarded, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a wonderful evening to all. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sir, want to say something?
Yeah, please.
Dr. Vishwanathan sir wants to say something.
No.
Yes, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sanjeev Mane sahib, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you all the foreign delegates, participants.